Chiori is the new 5-star Geo character to grace us in Genshin Impact, and just like how her scissors may have cut off Albedo's head and replaced it with her own, she cuts into the game at such a random moment with her precise cutting abilities. Chiori is the new sub-DPS Geo unit who has split scaling, attack and defense. Now, before you say that's a bad thing, I'll just put it out there right now that while she primarily wants defensive stats, her split scaling is actually good. She can take advantage of both attack and defense, so when you get that 24% defense substat, it may come in handy. With 100% uptime on her elemental skill and a burst finisher to boot, she is looking to be promising for Geo. Unfortunately, I don't think that even she can patch up Geo's state at the moment. But overall, she's still pretty solid. Get it? Like a Geo construct? Oh, what the fuck? Let's talk about Chiori before you pull. Chiori will be the sub DPS of the team, offering off-field Geo elemental damage with her skill. Her normal attacks are flashy and look amazing, but they're kinda useless until you unlock her C6. And that requires about $2,000. So her elemental skill allows Chiori to do a Kuching or I'll hate them type dash, while simultaneously summoning a puppet. This puppet will do coordinated attacks and they are stationary until you reuse the skill. If there is a Geo construct on the field, or if a Geo construct is summoned when she uses the skill, then there will be a second puppet that gets summoned, potentially doubling her damage. So you want to pair her with at least one other Geo character who can use Geo constructs. After using her skill, you are presented with 3 choices. 1. You can immediately use her skill again to switch to the next character. This can also be used in mid-air, meaning the next character coming in can take advantage of the plunge. 2. If you use her normal attack, she will gain Geo infusion for 5 seconds. This would be nice and all, but she gets 0 defensive scaling on her normal attacks, so this won't really be doing a ton of damage. And 3. You can stare at her Geo nuggets in awe while they demolish the enemies. I mean, they're so cute, right? These last for 17 seconds and the cooldown is 16 seconds. Unfortunately, they are not able to be moved once used. Maybe when you're summoning a Geo construct, they can be repositioned or release the extra summoned one, but I'm not too sure how that may work. The range had better be massive to make up for it, but we'll have to see. So you want to have a character that can use a Geo construct so she can summon 2 of her puppets. This is almost a requirement, but you can of course just not. Now her burst is one of the best burst animations in the game. It is a big stack of Geo damage. It costs 50 energy and you should be able to use it when you swap in as long as you have the right team. Mono Geo. Her second passive grants her a nice 20% Geo damage bonus if there's a construct on the field. Now let's talk about how all of this comes together and what this means for Chiori. So Chiori gives off-field damage, split scaling, defensive scaling. She's Albedo, but cuter. She will thrive in single target and really outshine Albedo in every way, and is competitive in even area of effect settings. Since her burst is a big nuke, she offers sizable damage compared to Albedo. When there are 3+ enemies out, then Albedo can compete, but you do have to deal with his flower breaking, which isn't that difficult if you're an experienced player, but for those of you who don't really use Albedo, okay, got it. God damn it! Stay on the field, damn it! Now, let's talk about Chiori's artifact options. Chiori really has one artifact set that she wants, and that's Husk of Opulent Dreams, the defensive Geo set. You will want to run defense, Geo damage, and then crit based on the current crit rates. She scales crit rate, so you'll probably want to run a crit damage hat in this case. And that's pretty much sums it up. Now, while you do farm up for that, you can use any combination of Geo damage and defense. Golden Troop is also a very viable option, and this will boost her skill damage, but the reason why I recommend Husk is because her burst is actually a pretty big size of her kit. Husk will boost all of her damage, and Golden Troop will only boost her skill damage. However, if you don't want to farm Husk of Opulent Dreams, then Golden Troop will be more than a great option. As for her weapons, she has managed to swipe Cinnabar Spindle from Albedo's dead corpse. If you have it, that is, and it's amazing for her. If you have this event exclusive weapon, then it's pretty good. It's actually very close to her signature, so if you have it, I would not go as far as to get her signature for the slight stat boost. Her signature weapon is a giant stat stick on the other hand, giving a massive 88% crit damage buff. Man, these weapons are going overboard. Other than that, she has a lot of other weapons that can work for her. The crit scaling weapons will serve her well, but you can also use the 3-star Harbinger of Dawn. If you run her with Zhongli, it's a really good option because she can definitely stay above that 90% threshold. Now, let's talk about her teams. The most controversial part, the teams. I really hate that Hoyo paired her with Navia like this was a good option in her demo/trailer because it's not. Navia needs someone to trigger Crystallize, and Chiori needs a Geo Construct to unlock her full potential, and Navia doesn't give any Geo Constructs. So in this case, it would be Navia, Chiori, a Geo Construct enabler like Albedo or Zhongli, and then a healer or a buffer. Bennett is ideal in this case because of how much he can buff Navia, but he's just not capable of constant shard production. You are really limiting Navia's potential by not having Bennett, and if you're using someone like Farina, you need a healer to offset the HP loss. You can use other sub DPS, but Navia's current team with Albedo will just perform significantly better because Albedo can also get his full damage without needing a Geo Construct. So where does she shine? With Mono Geo. She's an upgrade to the Mono Geo team with Ito. She can also be used in a dual Geo setup with Zhongli with any other character, so maybe something like Xiao, Chiori, Zhongli, and Xianyan. Those are where she really shines. You can, however, just use her wherever, but remember that if she's not with another Geo unit, her damage does fall off of a cliff. She's still serviceable, but don't expect amazing things without another Geo unit in her party. Chiori's Constellations are slightly impactful, but 100% not needed. I'll talk about them very briefly. Her C1 is actually kind of impactful because basically when you have a Geo Construct on the field and you use her elemental skill, you get another puppet for a total of 3. Overall, really good, but a great stopping point. Now her C2 will add additional elemental skill application with a mini puppet that pops out every time you use your burst and smacks an enemy and then pops off. Her C4 adds another mini doll. Now you can have a maximum of 3 on field and they pop up when the active character deals damage, being normal charge plunge attacks. So it's just a really good damage increase. Now her C6, man, it's definitely amazing. If only this was part of her base kit. So basically, it lowers the cooldown of her elemental skill to 4 seconds. And when she uses her skill and does normal attacks, she already gets a Geo Infusion. But now, her Geo Infusion is based off of 235% of her own defense. Massive. So, Chiori is a direct upgrade to Albedo, except for if there's 3 or more enemies. With that being said, if you have Albedo, she might not be the best option for your account. Despite the anti-synergy she has with Navia, she can still find uses in other teams, and a burn Geo team may be viable now with Albedo and Chiori. Overall, still a meme team, but it can work and you would be able to clear Abyss with it. She does work well with Albedo, but the Mono Geo team is pretty loaded right now on slots. Ito and Zhongli are pretty much a staple. And Goro, especially at C6, is also a staple to really boost the damage. So the replacement would be Albedo and Chiori. If you have Goro at a lower constellation, you can definitely use both Chiori and Albedo. That shield from Zhongli should be more than enough to keep you alive. So Chiori has not cleansed the 0.5 curse. She is good, like Yaimiko is good, but she's not great. She will service your account if you like her, but she is not a requirement. She's also Geo, as I said, and you know how they've neglected Geo for 2.5 years. Yeah. Remember though, waifu over meta. So if you like her design, pull for her because you will enjoy using her. Keep in mind all of the facts that I have stated about her, and good luck pulling for this amazingly designed character. Still here? Great. Go ahead and like this video, as it's a win-win for the both of us and it helps YouTube know that this video doesn't suck. And if you really want to help the channel grow, then go ahead and subscribe, as we're nearing our 5K milestone and you'd really be helping me out there. Until next time, Enigma out.